ଭିଡ଼ିଓରେ ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ପାଷ୍ଟ ଟେନ୍ସ ବିଷୟରେ ଜାଣିବା। ଗେମ୍ରେ ଆମେ ଖେଳିବା ପାଷ୍ଟ ଟେନ୍ସ। ଫ୍ଲାଏର କ'ଣ ହେବ? ଫ୍ଲିଉ। ସ୍ପିକ୍ର କ'ଣ ହେବ? ସ୍ପୋକ୍। ସିଟ୍ର କ'ଣ ହେବ? ସେଟ୍। ୱାଚ୍ର ୱାଚ୍ଡ।
This morning he pushed a car.
Fly.
Last winter the birds flew.
Deliver.
Last week he delivered a package.
Speak.
Last month he spoke.
Swim.
Yesterday he swam.
Then watch.
Last night they
Watched TV.
watched TV.
Sit.
Before class she sat down.
Cry.
Earlier she cried.
This morning he pushed a car. Fly. Last winter the birds flew. Flew टा पूरा बिल्डिंग की लास्ट को बोली जाएगा, right? Last week he delivered a package. तापरे spoke. Last month he spoke. Spoke टा last को आसिबो. He swam. Yesterday he swam. Swam टा last को आसिबो क्या? तापरे last night they watched TV. तापरे see before class sat down. See sat down before class. अरे यार इस सेट को इट रखी था. Okay. She cried earlier she cried. Last ate को इट रखिया. Right wrote failed. Wave.
This morning he
Waved. Sorry, waved.
Waved.
Right, waved. Eat.
Last week she
Ate.
pizza.
Say.
This morning she said hello.
Wrong.
Earlier today she
Ran.
See. Yesterday she saw an elephant. Yesterday I filled a glass.
Right.
Last night she wrote.
Carry.
Last month he carried a bag.
This morning he waved. Waved taku last ko nesiya. Last week she ate pizza. She taku etik nesiya. This morning she said hello. Said taku etik rakha. Earlier she ran. Earlier today she ran. Ran taku last ko nesiya. Yesterday she saw an elephant. This is a game, okay? Yesterday she saw an elephant. So taku adage etti rakhida. Yesterday I filled a glass, right? Last night she wrote taku last ko adage rakhida. Last month he carried a bag. Allah. Get ର କ'ଣ ହେବ? ଗଟ୍ ହେବ. ଗଟ୍ଟା ପାଖକୁ ନେଇଯିବା. ବାଇଟ୍ର କ'ଣ ହେବ? ବେଇଟ୍ ହେବ. ଟିୟର୍ର ଟୁର୍ ହେବ. ଏମ୍ଟିର ଏମ୍ଟିଡ୍ ହେବ. ଏନକରେଜ୍ର ଏନକରେଜ୍ଡ. ଓକେ. ଏମ୍ଟି.
Last week he emptied a bin.
Tier. Sorry. It is get.
A moment ago she
Got a book. Bite. Serve.
Earlier she served some food.
Bite.
This morning a dog bit me.
Build.
Last month he
Build.
built a wall.
So.
A moment ago she
Showed.
showed her ID.
Dear.
Yesterday I
Told.
tore some money. Last weekend he encouraged his friend.
Last week he emptied a bin. Allah. A moment ago she got a book. Earlier she served some food. Bite. This morning a dog beat me. Last month he built a wall. He built a wall. A moment ago she showed her ID. Yesterday I tore some money. Last weekend he encouraged his friend. Forgot lie lay clicked. So ଅଭ୍ୟାସ ଦ୍ୱାରା ହେବ skate was skated ଏମିତି ହେବ skate.
Last week she
skated. Forget.
Last year he forgot his key. Earlier he refused money. This morning he lay down.
Forget study.
Last night they
studied. Click.
A moment ago I clicked the mouse.
Pick.
A month ago he picked apples.
Crack.
Yesterday her screen cracked.
Last week she scattered. Last year he forgot his key. Earlier he refused money. This morning he lay down. Lie or lay. Simthia, last night they studied. A moment ago I clicked the mouse. Subject a month ago he picked apples. Yesterday her screen cracked. Stand stood. Stop stopped. Talked. Moved. Yarned.
Last month they moved an armchair. A moment ago she stood up. Last night she yawned. Earlier he
lost
the game.
Here you can lose or gain.
Yesterday they talked to each other. This morning I added sugar.
Move. Stop singing.
A moment ago the car stopped.
Highlight.
Last class she highlighted some lines.
Last one they moved an armchair. A moment ago she stood up. Last night she yawned. Earlier he lost the game. Like this game. Yesterday they talked to each other. This morning I added sugar. A moment ago the car stopped. Last class she highlighted some lines. বাইরে କ'ଣ ହେବ ବଟ୍ କ'ଣ କଲା ବଟ୍ ଏଠି ଅଛି ଡ୍ରାଇଭ୍ର କ'ଣ ହେବ ଡ୍ରୋଭ୍ ହେବ ଡିଗ୍ର କ'ଣ ହେବ ଡଗ୍ ହେବ କ୍ଲିନ୍ର କ'ଣ ହେବ କ୍ଲିନ୍ଡ ହେବ କିକ୍.
A moment ago he kicked the ball. This morning he bought some groceries. Yesterday she ignored him. Last month he drove.
Inserted
Earlier, I
inserted.
inserted a USB stick. Yesterday, she cleaned the floor.
এটা কোন ଅଛି dig
2 weeks ago, she
dog a hole
dug a hole.
control
Last weekend, I
control
controlled the drone.
a moment ago he kicked the ball. This morning he bought some groceries. Yesterday she ignored him. Last month he drove. Earlier I inserted a USB card. Yesterday she cleaned the floor. 2 weeks ago she dug a hole. Last weekend I controlled the drone. What भूल गला? Okay, no problem. Wake ro कौन हबो? Woke. Sing ro sang. Drink ro drank. Give ro gave. Hair ro hard. Charge ro कौन?
Yesterday, I charged my phone.
Wake ro कौन हबो?
Before 6, she
Woke up.
woke up.
Praise.
This morning, I
Please.
pressed a button.
Sing.
Last night, she
Song. Sang.
sang a song.
Gave.
Yesterday, he gave her a gift.
Here.
Earlier
hard.
today, he
Hard. Sorry. This hard.
heard a noise.
Drink.
After running, she
Drink.
drank water.
Exercise.
Last week, they
Exercise.
exercised.
Yesterday I charged my phone. Before 6 she woke up. This morning I pressed a button. Last night she sang a song. Yesterday he gave her a gift. Right. Earlier today he heard a noise. Correct. Then after running she drank water. Last week they exercised. তাহলে go রকম went. Read রকম read. কোনগুলা read. Sleep রকম slept. Tell রকম told. Play or played. Smile or smiled. Played.
Last week, they played soccer.
Go.
Last week, they
Went
to school.
Open.
Earlier, she
Open.
opened the window.
Read.
This morning, he read a book.
See? Tell.
This morning, he told her something.
Ask.
Last class, she asked a question. Yesterday, he slept.
Smile.
Yesterday, she
Smile.
smiled.
Last weekend they played soccer. Last week they went to school. Opened earlier, na? Earlier she opened the window. This morning he read a book. This morning he told her something. Last class he asked questions. Yesterday he slept. Yesterday she smiled. Feel about felt. Shake about sad. Suk. Ton. Hog.
This morning they hugged.
She feels.
Yesterday she
Pant.
felt bored.
Sting.
Last year a bee
Stung.
me.
Collapse. Isn't it? Put.
Earlier he put on a hat.
Tongue.
Last night she
Turn.
turned on a light.
Pant.
Last month she
Panted.
painted a picture. A year ago they shook hands.
Collapse.
Earlier the bridge collapsed.
This morning they hugged. Yesterday she felt bored. Last year a bee stung me. Earlier he put a hat. Earlier he put on a hat. Last night she turned on a light. Last month she painted a picture. A year ago they shook hands. Earlier the bridge collapsed. Where? Ring rang. Win own. Learned. Used. Lift.
Last week he lifted weights.
They are.
Yesterday they were happy.
Cough.
A moment ago she coughed.
Ring.
Last night my phone rang. Last week she learned maths. This morning he used his phone.
Win.
Last year she won a prize.
Greet.
Earlier she
Greeted.
greeted guests.
Last weekend he lifted weights. Yesterday they were happy. A moment ago she coughed. Last night my phone rang. Last week she learned maths. This morning he used his phones. Last year she won a prize. Earlier she greeted guests. Have had. Hang hung. Send sent. Like liked. Exchanged. Pour.
This morning she poured coffee.
She had.
Last semester she had 2 pens.
Point.
Yesterday he pointed at a TV. This morning she hung up clothes.
Smell.
A moment ago she
Smelled.
smelled a flower.
Liked.
Last summer she
Liked.
liked ice cream.
Sent.
Earlier I
Sent
sent an email.
Exchanged.
Last month I
Exchanged.
money.
This morning she poured coffee. Last semester she had 2 pens. Yesterday he pointed at a TV. This morning she hung up clothes. A moment ago she smelled a flower. Last summer she liked ice cream. Earlier I sent an email. Last month I exchanged money. Do did. Heat heat. Rise rose. Try listened. Listen.
Yesterday they
Listen.
listened to music.
Do.
Last night she
Did.
did homework.
Argue.
Yesterday they
Argued.
argued.
Hit.
A moment ago, he hit
a
a
ball.
ball.
Rise.
This morning, the sun rose.
Try.
Yesterday, she
Tried.
tried on a dress.
Spilled.
Earlier, the water
Spilled.
spilt.
Advertise.
Last month, the sign
Advertise.
advertised hamburgers.
Yesterday they listened music. Last night she did homework. Yesterday they argued. A moment ago he hit a ball. This morning the sun rose. Yesterday she tried on a dress. Earlier the water spilled. Sorry. Last month the hamburger. Then wrong one. Take took drive drived. Snow snowed. Was.
A moment ago, he
Washed.
washed his hands.
Take.
Earlier, I
Took.
took a pizza slice.
Reflect.
This morning, the water
Reflected.
the light.
Think.
This morning, she
Thought.
thought.
Snow.
Last Christmas, it
Snowed.
snowed.
Walk.
Last weekend, he
Walked.
walked.
Dive.
Yesterday, she
Dived.
dived into water.
Into.
Last month, they interviewed her.
A moment ago he washed his hands. Earlier I took a pizza slice. This morning the water reflected light. Wrong. This morning she thought. Last Christmas it snowed. Last weekend he walked. Yesterday she dived into water. Last month they interviewed her. Likewise, caught ro kon habo caught habo, wiped ro kon habo wiped habo, throw ro threw habo, dry ro kon habo dried, but tied ro kon habo tied, boiled ro boiled. Whisper.
Last weekend, he
Whisper.
whispered.
Caught.
This morning, he
Corn.
cut paper.
Boiled.
A moment ago, the water
Boiled.
boiled.
Clean.
Earlier, she
Wiped.
wiped the table.
Dry.
Yesterday, the clothes
Dried.
dried.
Tied.
Before running, I
Tied.
tied my laces.
Threw.
Yesterday, he
Threw.
threw away a bottle.
Decreased.
Last year, profits
Decreased.
decreased.
Spelling रो भी ध्यान रखियो रची. Last weekend he whispered. This morning he caught the paper. A moment ago the water boiled. Earlier she wiped the table. Yesterday the cloth has dried. Before I tied my laces. Yesterday he threw away a bottle. Last year the profit decreased. Grow रखना हो grew हबो. Brush रखना हो brushed. कोड़गला brushed. Look रखना हो looked. Enjoyed. Okay, enjoy.
Last night, she
Enjoyed.
enjoyed reading a book.
Grew.
Last week, grew.
Arrived.
A moment ago, the train
Arrived.
arrived.
Steve.
Yesterday, he
Stole.
stole a wallet.
Brush.
Last night, she brushed her hair.
Jumped.
This morning, he
Jumped.
jumped over a puddle.
Looked.
Yesterday, they
Looked each other.
looked at each other.
Designed.
Last month, she designed clothes.
Last night she enjoyed reading. Last week the plant grew. A moment ago the train arrived. Yesterday he stole a wallet. अरे wrong हो गया. चलो. Last night she brushed her Okay, this morning he jumped over a puddle. Yesterday they looked at each other. This last month she designed clothes. Sell sold about sold. Here it is. Lighted. Dropped. Call. Sneezed. Soot.
Earlier he shut the door.
Sell.
Last weekend sold apples.
Sneeze.
A moment ago sneezed. A moment ago met. Yesterday she dropped a ball. Last week he called her. Last night I lighted a candle. Last year they guarded a door.
Earlier he sawed the door. Last weekend she sold apples. A moment ago she sneezed. A moment ago they met. She dropped.